Hello, welcome to Same Cast Different Day podcast. I'm your host, Martel ROWLAND. Tina Marie, I think, is now 5 weeks out from finally having her damn baby. Finally. So, I just want to say thank you all because I have forgot to announce it on the last episode of the podcast. The podcast has now over 500 downloads. So, thank you all who've been supporting and listening and downloading the podcast. So, thank y'all so much for that. I want to do a quick shout out to Chris Walton and his whole team who had who had put together a great amount of volunteers for the Joe Biden campaign here in Wisconsin. I believe Wisconsin knew they screwed up 4 years ago when they somehow let Donald Trump get elected into office. So somehow they knew that they screwed up. But I think they got it right this time. So Chris Walton, Keith Howard Stryker, I believe. I always mess up his last name, but Keith Howard Stryker, I believe is his last name. Well, whole name. Yeah. So wait, yeah. So thank you all for thank you to that I know of, and it's a whole nother group of they had created a whole like a voting campaign group that was on Facebook. So yeah, thank you all for your efforts. So what I wanted to talk about was our president. Well, president, I guess I could say our president. Donald Trump is being a sore loser. He is still doing everything possible to try to, I guess, convince people that this election was rigged and he was cheated and the election was stolen. Like he didn't steal the election 4 years ago. Just saying. But, you know, he's still going to court trying to challenge everything there is to challenge. He's trying to take it to the Supreme Court. One person was believing he was trying to basically become a dictator with what's going on in the Pentagon. Hey, auntie. Oh, and I'm on Facebook Live, so y'all can find actually the days I record this. You can find this on. You can join me on Facebook Live, but I don't post the actual video. So once I'm done with the live, it doesn't. The video does not post until the actual episode drops. But and you get to get the kind of scenes before I start. But yeah. So basically he's trying to become a dictator. He's being a sore loser. He wants to do all these recounts. I believe Georgia right now is doing a recount, and they haven't even technically didn't even announce a winner for Georgia before this recount even started. And it's crazy because before all of this transpired, or whatever you want to call it, or the election or whatever, they didn't even, like I said, they didn't even finish the count, but he wanted to stop the voting. He wanted to stop the counting. He didn't want the absentee ballots to be counted because most of the people who voted for Joe Biden voted through mail, absentee voting, or they voted early. So those votes were counted last, and then the people who voted in person was basically a lot of the Trump supporters was the ones who went and voted in person, and then those votes was counted first. So when everything was going down, you know, it was coming out as Donald Trump being the winner of the election, well, of the states or whatever. And then once the absentee voting ballots were started to be counted, they were all a lot of that was coming in for Joe. So for a long, like at least 3 or 4 days after the election, Donald Trump was winning Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania, it took them a long time to count, in Arizona. But I'm surprised that Pennsylvania finished before Arizona. That was just too damn long. Like, Jesus. But, like I was saying, so it was showing that Donald Trump was winning Pennsylvania, and then the absentee voting started, and what ballots were starting to be counted. And Donald Trump saw that, Joe Biden's, votes were coming in, and he was starting to creep up more and more and more. So Donald Trump decides to go to court and tries to challenge, filed I guess like some type of papers in the Supreme Court in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to try to stop absentee voters from being counted, to announce him as the winner. And when it turns out, when they got done counting, that Joe Biden actually won Pennsylvania, thank God. And we're still waiting on North Carolina. I believe North Carolina and Georgia. We're still waiting on those results. So every state has reported, except for North Carolina and Georgia. So I wanted to get some people's opinion on our current president and his state. And then, did anybody see him at the Arlington Cemetery Veterans Day when he was supposed to be out there playing a wreath on I believe that's the unknown soldiers like tombs or whatever. I can't remember. I've been there before, but I just don't remember. Um, he just looked like he didn't want to be there. Like he was looking like when he called them all losers, like, oh, I gotta be here with these losers that's dead. Like really, he did not want to be there whatsoever. He's still mad about the election. I got a drink. Mm. So he's still mad about losing the election. He didn't want to be there. The transition of power is not going well whatsoever. He's not really. How can I put it? He's not really, playing by the rules where there's supposed to be a peaceful transfer of power. And we see Joe Biden. He's already acting as, oh yeah, they don't want to go to jail. Monty said Donald Trump don't want to go to jail. That's why he basically fights so hard. Yeah. So Donald Trump isn't participating in the peaceful transfer of power, and Joe Biden is already stepping up and acting as a president before he's even in the White House. So I commend Joe Biden, all everything that he's doing. He's already putting stuff in place as far as fighting the coronavirus pandemic. He put the scientists experts back together who Donald Trump originally disbanded, who predicted that this pandemic was coming and knew that this pandemic was coming and warned about this pandemic, and yet Donald Trump didn't take any warning or heed to it, no nothing. And then when the pandemic came, all he wanted to do was slow the testing down. So I don't know what the deal is with that man, and with over 250,000 people dead, and for all these Trump supporters to still be trying to support him. Like a lot of people keep on saying, they think that I don't support Republicans because I'm black. I do support some of the things that they do. I do support some of their ideas, and I can support a Republican president. But if it's the person that I wanted to win didn't win, so if Joe Biden didn't win, and a Republican president was put into office, I can accept it. But the only reason I cannot accept this one is because it's Donald Trump. I can accept anybody as president except for Donald Trump, because this man has no political experience. This man has never been. Sorry, I had to burp. This man has never been a mayor. Man has never been a governor, a senator, what they call an alderman. Nothing. He knows nothing about government. So it's one of the reasons why I just cannot support or accept somebody like Donald Trump as being president, and then the stupidity that he displays is just really out of my mind. The stuff that comes out of his mouth, the way how he treats people, the way how he talks to people, the way how he thinks of our veterans who have lost their lives fighting a war. Then on top of that, you have the nerve to be out here talking about how you support the troops, and you out here doing all these Veterans Day activities, and then not actively knowing that there's a bounty on American soldiers' head by apparently. I'm just gonna say this. It would not actually. Yeah, well, we could actually say that it's true. I guess that the Russian president put a bounty on American soldier heads, and this man once again did nothing. He has had conversations with this man. He's talked with him. He has, like I said, had phone conversations, and have yet to do anything about it. And this is the man that they want to be running this country for 4 more years. Like, no, this man has no plan. Like I said, like he has had a plan for a new health care that is going to be beautiful. It's going to be wonderful, and everybody's going to love it. And yet he has yet to produce a plan. He doesn't he doesn't have a plan for anything. He didn't have a plan for the coronavirus. He doesn't have a plan for health insurance. You want to cancel people who has pre-existing health conditions can possibly lose their insurance because of him, and you don't even have a plan for those people who could possibly lose their insurance due to previous or existing health conditions, which I find complete bullcrap. And then you were trying to take away people who worked their whole lives and finally retire. You're trying to take away their social security, their sense of income. Like, what do you think those people were going to do if you were to take away, their social security and income? What do you think they're going to live off of? A lot of people, some people were able to, save up money in their savings accounts and stuff while they was living, or have retirement accounts and stuff, or 403bs and 401ks and so on, and probably could have lived off of that. But those people who don't have that, this man was trying to strip them of their social security. Probably would have took away their Medicare. So they probably wouldn't have had health insurance. It was a mess. And then I had posted a video on my actual Facebook page, not the fan page, but my actual real life Facebook page. I had posted a video on there, and it was this older white woman on there, and she was literally in tears when Joe Biden got elected, because she was crying because she get to keep her Social Security and her Medicare, and she wasn't gonna lose those things. And I think about it, if you take that away, and for some of our older people, or the people who have paid their dues and now retired, you'd have took away their sense of independence. So like, what I just don't get it. Like, I just don't get this, man. I'm sorry, but I cannot accept Donald Trump as a president. I'm so happy. And I kind of hate to do this, but for you black people out there, yes, Kamala Harris is the first black, I guess you could say, woman vice president. But I need y'all to realize that she is also African American, and I believe Asian descent also. So I need y'all to recognize. So when y'all say, can y'all say first black African American Asian vice president? Give her other heritage credits. A lot of us are mixed together. And then my auntie Barbara also said, "There's no plan. There's no plan of nothing. No one, and the government is doing no work." Oh, they fed up with Donald Trump. Ego. Yeah, Donald Trump has a very big ego. I hate to say it, he does. And there's a lot of, I think, now that I think about it, have people been showing up for work who work under like the people who know they're about to lose their jobs and work for Donald Trump and like the government, and knowing that their job is basically going to be gone come January? Like, do they even show up to work? Do they bother to try to even do work? That's a really, really good question. It seems like the only thing they busy with doing right now is trying to file lawsuits so that Donald Trump can win this election, which I don't see. Yeah, I don't see that absolutely happening. But that's the only thing that they're trying to do right now, is trying to figure out a way how to overturn the election. And so far, they have not come forward with any evidence to prove that there's been any type of voters fraud. There was a situation in Pennsylvania where a 67-year-old man filed for an absentee ballot for his deceased mother, who was dead for 5 years. I believe they said he used like a typewriter or something to try to request a ballot. I don't know, but they said that's the first time something like that has happened in 30 years. So for this man to try to once again overturn this election and say that it's complete fraud, I think it's complete bullcrap. Yeah, that is how he lost the election. He lost the election trying to threaten to kill Social Security. It did nothing about COVID and healthcare. I totally agree. That's what really killed the election. And then once again, calling the American soldiers who died in combat, calling them losers. Like, he really basically took himself out of the running for president. And it's so crazy to see how close in voting everything was. Like this man still had so many supporters, although he has proved nothing to be complete bullcrap. Like I don't see anything that this man has accomplished in the last 4 years, considering that I believe Congress, which is majority Republicans, and they have a Republican president, they can push through just about any bill or any law that they want to. And yet again, he has got nothing done in the last 4 years except for golf and killed over 250,000 people. Yeah, they are really mad that they can't overturn the election. So yeah, these Republicans are horrible. And like I said, like I do think that some Republicans do have some good ideas, but like I keep saying, and like I have said in so many other episodes, I if any other Republican was running against Joe Biden and Joe Biden would have lost this election, I would have been able to accept it, and I would have been able to respect the fact that that person won. It's just the fact that if it this time around, if it was Donald Trump, I couldn't accept it. And then one of the other things that bother me is I have so many people, or should I say, I know some people that I work with who are Trump supporters, but claim they care about black people. Like, if you care anything about black people, you would have not voted for Donald Trump whatsoever. And you just can't do it. Like this man has no respect for anybody of minority whatsoever. And so for you to be a Trump supporter and knowing that this man do not care about minorities and still vote for him is complete bullcrap. And that just showed that you might not really care about black people yourself, because you voted for somebody who really don't care about black people, Latin people, probably Asian people, Chinese people. You know, he only cares about whites. I'm sorry, hate to say it, but that's really how it feels. And oh hey Tasha, how you doing? Oh Tasha, that's just how I personally feel. If you're a Trump supporter, I'm probably going to start looking at you like you're a racist at this point. My personal opinion. And I got a drink. Sorry about that. See, if y'all see, I'm gonna start posting the videos from the live thing on my YouTube channel, so y'all can go back and watch some of this shenanigans that go on. Yeah, oh yeah, that's gonna be Donald Trump's legacy of killing over 200,000 people. That's my auntie Barbara. That is going to be Donald Trump's legacy. I totally agree with that. When we look back at this 40, 50 years from now, the only thing we're going to think of like, y'all remember that time Donald Trump was president and he killed over 200,000 people or 250,000 people? I don't know what the number is now. And then people, would y'all please start wearing your mask. I'm getting so sick of tired of people saying that if masks work, how come coronavirus is so bad? Because y'all are not wearing the mask. Some of y'all are still not washing y'all hands. Y'all go around people doing handshakes and touching people and hugging people, and then some of y'all going out here having random sex and kissing all over people. And once again, then you don't know if they had it or been around somebody that had it. And then y'all come home, don't wash your hands, don't take a shower, you don't do nothing. And then on top of that, y'all all in these clubs, bars, restaurants with no mask on, and then you got the nerves to be upset talking about what coronavirus isn't going away because the mask don't work. Well, if y'all do the proper and necessary things they put into place, the precautions that they put into place, so that we can get back to normal, maybe this wouldn't have been so bad now. It's mostly some of you hillbillies will learn to just wear your mask. Coronavirus is real. Coronavirus is real. Coronavirus is real. I don't know how many times y'all need to hear that. Some of y'all think that this is fake. It is not fake. People are really dying. People are really hurting. People are out here suffering. Put on your damn mask. And that's all I got to say about that. So anyway, I'm going to end this episode right here. I want to thank you all for listening to this episode. If you want to, like I said, tune in, or leave comments. You can always find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find a podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram too. I'm going to try to do better and posting more on Instagram and on the Twitter pages for the podcast, because I'm really bad at that. But anyways, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for the over, I believe, 500 downloads that we now have. So thank you so much for the continuous support of the podcast. I'm still trying to figure out, because I'm thinking about doing giveaways for the month of December, for each week of the month of December for the podcast. I'm still trying to figure out what the giveaways are going to be. I think I do have one thing I can give away though, that I already have, that I bought. Yes, people are not washing their hands. Yeah, I totally agree with that. So yeah, I'm thinking about doing the giveaways. Anybody have any suggestions on what I can give away on this for us, the podcast? It is, like I said, coronavirus, so I got to figure out a way how to safely get it to people, whatever the giveaways are going to be for that week. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Martel ROWLAND. And you can find the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at SCDD Podcast. And you can also find the podcast on Facebook at Same Cast Different Day Podcast. So thank you all for listening. See you all next week.